Hello folks, this is Christine from Smartnoise. Thank you for joining me. Today I would like to show you something about how do I employ my SEO efforts internally on my website. For that purpose I'm using our own website, which is not quite perfect. Perhaps the greatest example to show you what you can improve and how you can use it on your own website. So, after you've looked into how Keyword Planner works, for that please look at our other tutorial. You have to pick your 10 keywords that you think that potential customers will associate with your website or your products. Now that you've done that, have a look at this site. In a traditional website, you'd have the logo on the left side, as theory says that people are looking from the left top corner down to the bottom right corner. You'll be able to see that we have our tabs here. It doesn't matter whether you have them here or there, really up to you. Then we broke it up into a title header, a little bit about our company, and then clearly the points about what we are doing, as well as a section that is about our services and contacting us directly. Now, if I have clients, usually if they're a little bit larger, I recommend having a free call line just here at the top, just because people don't have so much time and sometimes just want to give you a call. That might be the easiest solution for small to medium businesses which are trying to attract immediate clients. Also, you could have a box which people could fill out, located a little bit higher so they didn't need to scroll down, where they could talk about anything they need, about when you can contact them, something that's automated and that will link directly to your website. A lot of people don't have time to actually first go to their email client, type in your address, and then send the query. So this is a little bit about how to increase your sales in general. Then here, from an SEO point of view, title header is incredibly important in terms of placing your keywords. Now, we are a creative agency, and we are doing websites, we are doing SEO, so technically this title should have really been about SEO or something we're doing. Now the issue is, from a designer, from a content point of view, is it really that attractive to have these headers so large? So in our in our case, as you can see, we decided to make it a little bit more, a little smaller, not quite in your face. From an SEO perspective, however, if you have a larger company, I would have made these titles bigger and just here. Within the content, however, you can already start seeing, as our services are about social media and about SEO, we use terms like pay-per-click, for example. We use our location where we're based, Barcelona, Antwerp, Brussels, and now in Jakarta actually, and we use terms such as search engine optimization. Now you just have to note that if you're using American English, this would be a Z. If you're using British English, this would be an S. Now, you have to decide on one type of spelling in your text. You cannot just do everything all across board. Important also is this tab at the top. In order to identify your tab or which tab you're going on to, you can see Smartnoise Creative Marketing People is popping up when I hover my mouse over this tab. This could be also Smartnoise / SEO services or Smartnoise Creative Agency Web Design, etc. A little bit longer. So you could have up to 2 or 3 keywords in that title. That's quite important because Google is looking at this also. So now what do we have? We're talking about this title tag that can be changed through the back end. If you cannot do it yourself, you should have a list of things that you request from your web designer to do. So that should definitely change to match your company. This title here, the content within the text, subtitles. Headers or titles are defined by header 1, header 2, header 3, just as if you would use it in Word. So header 1 is the biggest one, header 2 the second biggest one, and so forth. What else I can recommend is if you have something to download or something to watch, like a video, on the first page, you draw more attention to the client and you allow them to spend more time on your first page. Google decides on how they rank your page based on not only how many visitors you're getting, but also on how long they're staying on your page. So up here you can see you can download for free a free page rank checker. All you have to do is you have to type into your search bar free page rank checker. In this case, my browser is called Mozilla Firefox. So you could, if you have Internet Explorer, you would look for free page rank checker, Internet Explorer, and so forth. And you could download a page rank checker to your search bar. It's not always 100% correct. As you can see, I have two. So PageRank 2 is not blastingly famous. Just to give you an idea, BMW.de for Germany currently has a PageRank 6. BMW.com has a PageRank 8. So does Harvard, for example, Harvard University. If you're looking at 9, that's already Facebook at this point, and Twitter has a 10. Yes, Twitter is actually even more visited and more frequent or higher rated than Facebook at this point. So for your company, if you're small to medium, I think a 3 is something that you should achieve in the first year. And your page rank will go down if you're not taking care of your site. So we have to do quite a brush up. Now, if you have other services, let's say in this case we have web design, e-commerce, branding, SEO, and I clicked on web design. On the web design page, I would pick 10 keywords that were really specifically about web design, not SEO, not marketing, not online marketing, about web design. These keywords would then also be entered into the backend. So now that we talk about the front end and about this title tag here, creative and marketing people, if you right click and go to view page source, if you have a Mac you have to find a different way to go to page source. So in this case this would pop up. So don't get scared right now. What we're looking for are meta tags. So I'm just going to press find meta. So, and here we are. We have here a meta description. Meta description is a description of your business. That's the little bit of writing that comes up when you're looking for something on Google search, and what's underneath the blue link. So, for example, we are based in Barcelona and Antwerp. If you need state-of-the-art web design, e-commerce development, or online marketing, you have come to the right place. So what we're looking for are keywords within that description. However, it has a little bit of a sales pitch sound to it and a call to action. So this could be something like check it out, or click here, or have a look, something like that. If you go to meta keywords, you can see that you can use up to 30, I recommend it. So in this case we have creative agency, web design, SEO, online marketing, Barcelona, Spain, Brussels, Antwerp, Belgium, worldwide, e-commerce, Magento. Magento is an e-commerce shop, WordPress, etc., etc. But as you can imagine, we could use much more keywords than this. Think about the products that I mentioned before. Seminars, lectures, etc. So some SEO experts are arguing that you should be really saying SEO Barcelona, online marketing Barcelona. Others are claiming that within your keyword list you just need to use the word and then add the location in a separate comma. Just to be safe, perhaps you could just try using the keyword in a combination with the location, so you really target the people who are coming to your site. Google, however, changes its algorithm quite often, of course, so there's no fixed recipe. So you just have to decide what you want to do and just try it out. And now, after you've done your keyword name, there is also one meta tag that is finally called meta title, and that meta title is what determines what's up here. Again, on our homepage, it's fine to have creative and marketing people. However, if we jump to, let's say, web design, and that tab opened, it should say Smartnoise, web design, and then location wherever we're at. just to give you an idea, this is WordPress. So now that we're using WordPress and you're thinking, wow, how can I enter all my meta tags? So you can come to one of our pages, for example, where I would enter our content. And if you've downloaded something that's called an all-in-one SEO pack or something similar, it's a client that helps you with your SEO. So if you wrote your content for web design, at the bottom there would be another option that says what do you want your title to be, which will be your meta title. So in this case, web design, web development. Give us a description, so it again has to have a little bit of a sales pitch sound to it, but it shouldn't be more than 160 characters, as in the description in Google there's usually not more space than that. And finally, you will have also here a list of keywords that you can enter. So in this case, you can see web development, unique website, Barcelona, Spain, web design, anything surrounding web design. Here I've also used the name of our developer, Hubert and Christine. He's been doing all this work. If you go to another tab which talks, for example, about SEO more specifically, all the relevant information here will be about SEO. So it's quite a lot of legwork to do using Keyword Planner, but it definitely is an interesting way to try to become first on Google. The more content you have, obviously, the better. If you're in the tourism sector, this is fantastic because you could write endless amounts of content within your site. What you have to look out for, however, is that you don't place everything onto one page. By having different breakups, so let's say you are running a hotel business and people are coming because of your restaurants, you really should have a separate section for your restaurants. And let's say this one is saying Japanese, this one is saying Italian, because you can beforehand find out how many people are actually looking for Italian restaurant Paris, for example. So if I was to click on this Italian restaurant Paris, again, everything on that site could be really laid out to target information about Italian restaurant Paris. If you're a photographer, artist, or you're doing videos, what's really great is if you use images. As I'm scrolling over the Smartnoise image, you can, instead of calling your JPEGs 1234.jpg, make them meaningful. Call them, for example, if you're showing certain foods because you have a restaurant, call it Italian spaghetti Barcelona or Italian pasta Barcelona if you're Italian restaurant. So if you have 500 pictures, the chances that if somebody types it in these days, if you're doing a search, not only search results come up which are text, but also YouTube videos as well as images. So if you're number one on Google Images and you haven't quite made it with your website, increases your chance to be found. If you have a tourism website and you hold a huge amount of images, high quality about the city, so let's say Eiffel Tower Paris or Brandenburger Tor Berlin, and you have really good images supporting this, and they're all tagged correctly using your keywords for this thing, then your chance to be found will be increasingly higher. There's a lot of other things you could do with this, externally, of course. Now, this is just a little bit about internal SEO. I hope it's helpful. I hope this gives you an idea what you could do with your site. No, not every website has a back end like we do, where you can just enter your information with WordPress. So you just have to talk to your web designer and figure out what could you do to optimize your site. Sometimes it helps to check out, all right, you ask for a quote. What if I had to change, let's say, all these tags and titles and title tags on all these different pages, giving the designer all the different words that you need, versus building a new website. Because what WordPress and Joomla allows you to do is to have more control of your website. And I do personally recommend that, especially if you are in a large content industry where you could write potentially a lot of information. To empower your employees and make everybody an editor. For that, they need the right training, but it's incredible what we could do for the magazine Barcelona Metropolitan in Spain. Just by training people how to do this, how to focus on the content, they could increase their visitor numbers by more than 20% within 1 year. And this was just some coaching of 2 hours every second week or so. So definitely think about what could your employees also do to enrich your website, and how much can you give out. Having a website structure that allows you to be flexible is incredibly important. What you have to tell the web designer, of course, just to give you the heads up, is to include on every page something that allows you to count how many visitors are coming. We use Google Analytics. So what it does is we can find out exactly how many people came to our homepage and how many people are being led to web design, branding, SEO. Where are they breaking off? And this Google Analytics code is free. You do not just have to have it on your homepage, you should have it on every page to find out what could you improve, and really follow your strategy on that. You also will see where visitors are coming from, especially if you've advertised in a new a magazine or online publication, so you can see, did my advertising efforts really pay off or not? Did people come to my website? Last but not least, don't forget, the way that Google and other search engines find you is looking at your meta tags, and therefore sending little robots out. They deem that your homepage is the most important one. So what you also can do is you can make a sitemap. It's free as well, or ask your web designer to find one. And when your sitemap has been made, it has to be included in your website, and it's basically a map to these robots that are coming to your site, to tell them, hang on, we don't only have just a homepage, we also have subcategories, just like here, e-commerce, branding, etc., etc. So you need to know about how to create sitemaps, what you want to have on there. That sitemap later on will also impact on the way you're represented in your Google search. So when you sometimes see a university and it has a breakup of contact us and or a course structure, etc., etc., and you have different links, that's because they've set up their sitemap quite well. More on these details in the future tutorials. Thank you to hang in there with us and for your patience. I hope this was helpful.